What is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of the women. That is good.
The gods forgot the secret of steel and left it on the battlefield.
The riddle of steel.
Yes. You know what it is, don't you, boy?
Why do you cry?
It's Conan. I'm married. He won't cry. So I cry for him.
Prom. I've never prayed you before. I have no tongue for it.
Ooh, the Sci-Fi Society clothes.
We are the Sci-Fi Society.
DJ Anubis. Here with the Meltdown Radio podcast with my special guest, Sci-Fi Century, our fearless leader and founder of the Sci-Fi Society.
That whole story is like, that's pay-per-view, guys. You don't get a lot of that stuff.
All right, go home, Jay.
How's it going, everyone? We are now live, and I would like to welcome everyone who is watching to the Sci-Fi Society podcast, volume 24. And if you guys have already seen the thumbnail, me and the Society will be discussing one of my favorite sword and sandals film, especially for Arnie, and that's Conan the Barbarian. And joining me, of course, the Society themselves. And to start off, we have a new member of the Sci-Fi Society, and that is Connor Unlev.
Olvin Werewolf.
Alvin Werewolf. Okay. Yeah, I just call him Connor, man. But hey, sorry about that, man.
You're good.
And of course, we have Jedi Granville, Sexual Chocolate. And then we have the Master in Chief of the Metal Tavern, that is DJ Anubis. And we have Godzilla figure collector extraordinaire and also founding father of the Sci-Fi Society, Gojira 851, Matt Jacobson, and everyone who is watching. We are the Sci-Fi fucking Society. So it's and I just want to get this off my chest. I've had this podcast on the back burner for a year at least, 2024. And we're finally getting to it. I'm gonna suck it up, especially Anubis. He would never stop giving me shit if I would have this one too. And yeah, this is one of my favorite films of all time. And we all know there was Godzilla, there was Castlevania, there was also Conan. And 1982 was in it when it was released. I saw it later, but I think I was about 5 when I saw it. But I remember when we were in California and I got a piece of the film, and I told my mom, I want to finish watching it. So they ended up renting it. Saw it when I was little, 5 or 6. Loved it. Never got tired of it. And then, but yeah, it's also a film that I grew up with. A lot of us are here have grown up with, and we finally are gonna discuss this great sword and sandals film. And just to start off, before we get to everybody who has their history with Conan the Barbarian when they have first watched it, I just want to get some facts on the film. And Conan the Barbarian is an American epic sword and sorcery film directed by John Milius and written by Milius and Oliver Stone, based on Robert E. Howard's Conan. The film stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, James Earl Jones, and tells the story of a barbarian warrior named Conan who seeks vengeance for the death of his parents at the hands of Thulsa Doom, the leader of a snake cult. And we'll just get to the cast real quick. Yeah, man, it's one of those films that was just so freaking. It's just one of those films that really hit home with me too. That you just love that stuff. And it also stars Sandal Bergman, and there's, I'm trying to see where the hell is the cat? There we go. And it was of course starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, James Earl Jones, Mako, and I forgot what's the name of the guys? What's the name of the guy who plays Subutai? If anybody can help me out with that.
Yeah.
And I know it's something Reyes. What was it? I don't know why I didn't go to the freaking cast. What the hell?
Hold on, I can find it, I'm sure.
Hang on.
Jerry Lopez.
Okay, Jerry Lopez.
Jerry
Yeah,
Lopez.
so yeah, and of course we have James Earl Jones is what are the other of Thulsa Doom's henchmen?
Yeah, you got God.
Rexor was one.
That's Ben Davidson, who was actually I don't know if he was still playing football at the time or a former football player, but then you also had
Sven Thorson. There you go. Yeah, Sven Thorson. Okay, yeah, I remember.
He's Thorgrim.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that.
He's like
Thorgrim.
Another bodybuilder that ended up doing a lot of
yeah.
films with Schwarzenegger throughout the 80s and whatnot.
And don't forget Max von Sydow. He's in there.
Sydow, yeah.
Oh, we got an echo. Is that you, Walt?
I don't hear echo.
What echo?
I don't hear one.
I don't hear one.
Sure, it's not just you.
Okay. I don't know.
No, I don't hear no echo.
I'm hearing it on Walter's end. I mean, I
don't
have my. Go ahead, Walt.
I don't
Talk.
hear-
Just
I don't
want to
hear-
double
Go
check.
ahead.
Yeah, can you hear? Let me see.
Okay, you're good. Yeah, you're good. That was just me.
Okay.
What's up, Tony? We got comments here. Let's
Yeah,
get
what's
to
up,
who's
Tony?
watching.
Today? What's up? Yes.
What's up, Tony? Mr. Tony today. Thank you for joining. Another newest member of the Sci-Fi Society. And oh yeah, I heard an echo as well.
Oh Lord.
He's lying.
Yeah.
Well, before we go on, I should inform the audience that's watching us right now that I am officially not on a phone. I'm actually on a new laptop. So if you see how I'm looking right now, that's because I am joining the human race in technology. So there we go.
Yeah. Hey, y'all got to start somewhere. Y'all got to start somewhere. You're a late bloomer, Walt. It's all right, man. But no, I have my headset on, so I know it's not me.
Okay.
So what do you call it? But yeah. So getting back to the film, as our brother from the entertainment headquarters, Kevin Lever, would say, "Let's get cracking." But let's just say of anybody who has this, I know they probably don't have it on them as like anybody who wants to show that off. Okay, yeah, there's got to be at least two of us, so that's good.
Mine's
So,
upstairs. I have
I'm-
the same one, but it's upstairs.
It's all good. So I want to start off with the history of you guys when you first saw the movie. So I'll start off with Gojira 851.
Oh yeah. This is one of the first films that got me into wanting to loving on swords. Saw this film at a very early age. Like 5 or 6 years old. Very young Arnold Schwarzenegger in this film. You can still tell that his acting chops are very, raw in this. I don't mean that as a knock. It's a very raw time of his career. It's a very raw film, and it's designed for that. And it's very gritty film, and I love it for being a gritty film. Not like the sequel, Conan the Destroyer, which is a more polished film, and a lot of people hate that film for it being so polished. Now we'll talk about that film, at a later date, but the grittiness, the dirtiness of this film is just so pleasing to watch, and and just the way how it's just shot and just so captivating as well. Also, it's just so disturbing at parts as well. It's so great, but then there's scenes in it where you just don't expect it to just come out and just really grab you, and just you think that what's going to happen, and all of a sudden, like the scene with the witch. You think that it's just a scene where you think it's just going to happen just a certain way, and all of a sudden she grows fangs, and all of a sudden it gets into like a small scuffle, and then you see a bit of a sorcery happen, and you see Conan just silently pray to himself, and then it moves on to another scene. It's just you just don't know, but then it moves on. It's just it always keeps you guessing, and it's the kind of movie that it just really makes you really want and really keep on wanting. It's a very captivating film. That's just an idea. Love you and share anything. I've been hearing that for years now. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. The funny thing is, I've never seen Stranger Things, but I constantly keep on getting compared to that, gentleman. Thank you. Thank you very much. I need to watch Stranger Things. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Tony. Thank you. Thank you. But again, Conan the Barbarian, outstanding film. I don't want to give away too much right now, but absolutely love it. So, okay, take it away, next person.
DJ Nubis.
Let's see. It came out in '82, and this is the time that I was about 12 or 13. And the thing with HBO at the time was we had these little brown boxes, like you would connect your cables. They're only about yay big.
I remember
and
that.
it was like the best thing in the world, that little box. And so I would sneak up in the middle of the night. My parents would sleep downstairs and we'd be upstairs, and my sisters would be asleep. So I'd go into the kitchen where the little TV was, little box TV, turn on movies. It'd be horror films or whatever. That's where I'd see all the risque films that you're not supposed to watch. And dude, that first like 10 or 15 minutes when you have the Rottweilers running into the camp and attacking people, and you just see blood all over the place, and all of a sudden you get this moment with Thulsa Doom, who is like imposing along with his henchmen. I'm just like, this dude means business. And he turns around and takes the head of his mother, who's holding his hand. And dude, from that point, I was hooked. I didn't have nightmares, but my admiration and drive for fantasy films was born like right there. Even though I'd seen Godzilla or Sinbad movies in this, from the 70s younger, those didn't go the distance with sex and the kill scene with the snake and stuff like that. It didn't look that way. So this was like a whole new world that I was now checking out for the first time, and I just fell in love with that movie right away.
Yeah, and on the side, and probably on that side, when we used to go upstairs and sneak in to watch TV, he obviously did try to watch the Playboy channel too. So don't lie.
In fact, yes. Yeah. When they say about you like try to get the lines because it was all blurry, yep, that's me.
I remember. No,
I try to record so that I could actually pause it if I wanted to.
No.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, my friend.
Exactly.
Right? No, I know. But before I get to Walter, though, I was gonna say, I remember those brown boxes, man, like with the buttons, right? With the two top buttons.
Yeah.
And remember, I don't know if I remember, like every time for me it was HBO, it would be the 30. It would be 30 something. I think it was the number 30 switch that it was, because I used to do that too. I learned how to start recording in VCR and all that stuff when I was like 8 or 9, bro. So I was already doing that, and I already know I want to put up. I wonder what's coming on.
Speaking of which, when I started recording stuff, like I forgot that I should hide my tapes. So like when my dad one time he found one that had all the squiggly lines, he talked to me. He's like, I know what this is. Okay, you're not fooling anybody. I'm like, I don't know, Dad. I don't know how I got to record on that channel. I have no fucking clue, man.
I think that's a smile. Literally,
you just see like all of a sudden it's like blah, 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 and then just like this boobs here,
right? No, that's an alien invasion. No, that's not. I'm watching John Carpenter's The Thing. Trust me, it's not what you think it is. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, the Huskies had a female tits. Sorry.
Yeah,
no, but
it's okay. Yeah.
No, but. Just to add on what before I get to Walter, Jedi Granville, yeah, I had to agree with what Matt Gojira and Anubis said, that this was obviously a project that they really, I think it was Millis really wanted to take that raw aspect of, especially because it was the early 80s, and I don't know if this was a high we call it a high budget film, or this was
it was like $20 million. Budget.
Yeah. But you can tell, like, I've heard there was a lot of I heard that there was a lot of accidents on set. Arnold Schwarzenegger injured himself a few times, and then so did Sandal. And Sandal, she looks really, she is imposing or anything like that, but like any other, she's a girly girl. She's a dancer. She was a dancer, so. That's why it was rough. I heard it was rough, but that's what, to me, what gave it that much more flavor of the time.
Well, it was rough for her because they tried to get a stunt double for her, but they couldn't, so she had to do all her stunts herself.
Yeah, because she's a tall woman.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'll get to Jedi Granville, man. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, just like Anubis, he's bringing up old stuff right now. I'm like, tripping balls in terms of, it's like, I remember them boxes very well. And yeah, and just like, well, I don't know if he did it. I did it more than he did. I try to sneak and watch films that I was not supposed to watch because my mom was saying, no, 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 you're not going to watch this. But I saw this on HBO, but I had the misfortune when it came on that particular night. I saw like maybe half an hour, and then all of a sudden it went out because it was raining hard that night. So all I got was a glitch of the regular channels of broadcasting and everything. I was like, damn it. So I would have to see it later. But the great thing about this film is that it did take the aspect of fantasy and push it to a whole nother level in terms of this rawness, you know. And because like Anubis was saying, you know, like things from like seeing like Sinbad movies or anything fantasy back in the day, you know, it was more kid friendly to a degree. But this was totally, as you would say, raw and real. It was not holding back too much in terms of its sexuality or its violence, and whatever it did, you know, it was showing it to you, you know. And like I say, that moment when you was talking about, you know, some accidents happen. I actually saw this in a documentary where that moment where Schwarzenegger's running from the dogs, and he climbs up on the stone, and the dogs actually was supposed to be, you know, they was supposed to kind of not so much catch up to him, but they were supposed to be, you know, catch up to him to a certain degree. But the director released them a little too early, and they caught up to him really quick, and he fell into a bed of thorn bushes, and he actually injured his back doing that particular scene. And like I said, I saw the outtake of this, and it's just kind of like, damn, boy, it's like you like I said, you got to pay for your price of fame when it comes to doing stuff like this, because this was Schwarzenegger's breakout role. You know, I mean, before Terminator.
The trivia on that with the dogs is that they were semi-feral, so the handler, like they would attack the handler, and so they said that when Schwarzenegger's running to the rocks, he's actually running for his life because they don't know what the dogs are going to do if they get him.
Well,
that was like a legit thing that was going on for that film.
From what I saw in the video, what I saw in the outtake it's like it's very much like that, because it's like he's running from him. He's like, and they grabbing on him, and then when they push him, you know, because that's not what's in the film, but in the outtake, like I say, he falls hard on the back of the rock, and then he falls in a bunch of these. But I'm like, dude, like. It's funny how you have to go to the lengths of doing things for film. And back then it was more, you know, I mean, that wasn't so much safety hazards, but I mean, it's not like it is now. They're trying to make sure that their stars don't get injured like they do back then.
It's way different
but
now.
Back then, it's like it's take a give, you know. If you ain't doing it, you ain't gonna be selling it, you ain't gonna be in the film. But all in all, this film is one of those little examples where I could say it kind of broadened my horizons of what was to come future-wise in terms of the brutality in either science fiction or even fantasy or anything else that was going to be brought to light. You know.
Cool. No, yeah. And then now, Alvin Werewolf.
Okay, so my experience with Conan is my first time was I got to see it on AMC in the 2000s and stuff. The AMC had it on a couple times a night or day. I recorded it off the TV and I would watch it. And it interested me because it's like the sword fighting in Masters of the Universe. Like you got the fighting of Skeletor and He-Man and all those cool battles in that movie. And then I do like the brutality of this movie because there's a lot of it. But the first scene that I remember, and they showed a trailer, and you showed it in the opening, is where they are showing Conan swinging the sword practicing and stuff and training. Mm-hmm. That was the first, like one of the first clips I remember AMC showing for Conan on the trailers when they had shown this movie.
I see. No, yeah. I mean, well, early 2000s. I mean, that's not too bad. I'm pretty sure it was. If it was AMC, was it? It wasn't censored or anything. That they show the whole thing the way it was.
I think it was the whole thing. I can't
Okay, cool.
remember
Well,
if it
yeah.
was censored or not.
Yeah, but you've already. So I'm pretty sure you've had it already. You bought it by them, but that's why I just asked. No, yeah, man. But like I said, that's what I'm saying. Like, we all wanted to talk about this film because it's an amazing film. A lot of people.
I agree.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Like it is. It was pretty. It was for the time. It was pretty successful at the box office. Even though there's ratings, people saying, "Oh, they don't like it this much." Just like Gojira was saying that it wasn't as polished as Destroyer was. But yeah, that's what gives it that much. Like that's how they say. That's what makes it that much better. That the struggle during the filming on set, the injuries. I'm pretty sure when they watched it, at opening night, that they were proud. I'm pretty sure all of them were proud of what they all made, especially the director. And also because Arnie was this was it was pretty much his breakout role, right?
I mean, that was his first one. I mean, like I say, that got him started, but then Terminator was the one that put him into the stratosphere.
Yeah, it was Terminator that got him up there, but it was between Terminator got him the stratosphere, but everybody remembers him for Conan as well. It's between those two. The Terminator is the bigger one, but people remember from Conan as well. Those are the two biggest ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, now let's get to the film. Let's get started. So, since I did, leave Anubis in the dust, the first time we were supposed to do this live stream, I'm gonna let him start it off first, and then I'll pass it to Gojira, then Walter, and then Alvin Werewolf. So it started off Anubis.
So yeah, basically your story starts off of young Conan. He's talking to his father. His father tells him about trusted in steel and the gods, about Crom. And so really they're just kind of like a very small village that they're from. His father's a forge master, as well as his mother. Great looking pair of people, great warriors. But they're kind of just like the mind their own business. And then at the time, Thulsa Doom and the Snake Cult are kind of just going from different cities and stuff, picking up steel and trying to rape and kill people and take their goods. They're just laying waste. At this time, Thulsa is all about the swords and the metal and steel, and that's basically what they're doing. It's basically like building your own army just by ravaging all these little towns. So they end up slaughtering Conan's family and people, the Sumerians. And so he is captured. And of course, I told you about the mother losing her head, which was crazy to me at the time. I was like, dude, I mean, you had hypnotizing eyes. You could have maybe got laid first or something, but he just said, nah, I'm just going to take her head, be done with it.
Right.
So anyway, yeah. So Conan is taken as a young slave, and he's taken to like this little
wheel of pain. A wheel of pain.
Wheel of pain. Yes.
And really, man, you think about
Yes,
it, like,
indeed.
because they kind of show it as he's, after time, he's still growing and getting bigger. People die on that thing. Like, they are there for so long. Like, I don't even know. Did they ever kind of reference, like, how old he was? I mean, I'm assuming he's probably in his early 20s by the time he's captured by the guy that does all the fighting. But he's there for quite a while. I mean, at least 10 years. Like, he's at least there.
Yeah, about that, yeah.
Yeah,
but it's like a two-edged sword, because either you're gonna die on that fucking thing, or you're gonna become like this big, huge motherfucker like he did. And he just kept going around and around. He was the last one there.
Yeah.
So yeah, the guy ends up. I forget the name of the dude. He picks him up. Basically, this is like Gladiator. So he has gladiators he picks up and puts them in fights and
Pit
bets
fights.
on them.
Yeah. Fighting, yeah.
And that
Pit
shit,
fighting.
man, when I first saw that with the first fight that he had with that black dude with like the teeth and everything, I was like, that was brutal, man.
Dude.
Yeah, I was like, that was scared the shit of me just looking at that dude. And you have to remember, Conan, despite his size, man, had no fighting skills.
Yeah.
Didn't know much about speaking or writing. And this was kind of the testament to the guy that owned him, is that he actually taught him all these things. As he got through his first fight through just sheer will and strength. And so the guy just starts teaching him. He takes him to the best swordsmen, and he's training them all him and teaching them writing and arithmetic, and of course how to love.
Yes.
The sexy women. Gets his sexy on. Yeah. So basically, he's just been pit fighting, becomes like the best fighter they have.
He did not care anymore.
What's that?
He did not care anymore.
Yeah, he didn't care anymore.
Yeah, what's the famous quote when he's sitting there with the crew and they're all sitting there? He's like, "What's the meaning of life?"
Crush your enemies. See them trouble before you. Hear the lamentation of their women.
Good.
That is right.
And then, I wanted to also say when you were talking about when he was when they would put women into his enclosure or whatever, they had him in an enclosure. He says, what do you call it? Mako says in the background, like he also enjoyed the pleasures of women as he was bred to the finest stock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, the chick that he was with was like, looked terrified. I don't know if it's just because of his size, or she thought maybe what was down there might be bigger than he was. But that look on her face was priceless.
Well, no,
That's a version. You never know.
Did you see a look on his face?
Oh yeah, he's kind of like, yeah.
He's like,
well, especially that one scene when he puts her down and he just like.
But he was a gentleman. He got her nice little fur coat and he laid her down.
Yeah,
I don't know
laid
if
her down.
Because he's like performing in front of people. They're all at the fucking gate.
They're
like,
spectators. They want to see this.
Oh, dude. I mean, like, come on, these motherfuckers are like staring, like, oh my god, it's like they're like two freaking tigers or something. I'm like, come on, bro, they're freaking humans. I don't want to see them. I don't want to see that shit, But I also wanted to go back to the beginning and just to mention something because of the beginning when Conan's talking with his father and his father tells him that Crom fooled the gods and took from them the enigma of steel, and that's why he said, the riddle of steel, you must learn about it, because nor can you trust women. You cannot trust men, not women, not beasts. This you can trust.
This you can trust.
You can trust. Yeah, and just getting to that part, man. Like that's the good shit that I love talking about. And okay, so sorry. Now we'll get to Gojira 5-1 where Anubis left off.
So he's getting trained in all of this, and he's becoming trained in swordsmanship, and he's becoming more and more, savage and more powerful in all of this, plus with the swordsmanship. And you see his handler almost remorseful after he gives that, that saying, crush your enemies, soon trouble for you, and your limitation. After he says that, he actually has remorse. Like, oh no, I've allowed this person to become a monster. Like, what have I done? So he actually sets him free. He's like, "Oh, you're free. Go on, get out of here. Go on." He actually releases him, and Conan actually looks scared and afraid. He lets him go in the middle of the night, and Conan actually starts to run, and and go be free. So Conan's actually running with his bonds and actually running in the middle of the night, and then you hear the dogs barking. You guys like, he let the dogs, so they actually let dogs go to actually run after him and actually try chase after him, and catch him. It's like, okay, well, these dogs aren't going to bring him back, so he's running literally for his life. So he comes across this large mound of rocks. It shouldn't really be out of anywhere. It's just odd. They're just odd. It's really odd. It's like, what are these things doing here? So he gets up on these rocks to get away from these dogs. And he actually trips and falls inside of them, and they actually are like a mausoleum. And he falls inside, and he's looking around, and it's actually a tomb. And he sees the tomb of these great warriors inside. It's like, what is all of this? And he's looking around, and he sees like a king, and he's seeing like, oh, he's just mesmerized by this king, and he sees that the king's holding a sword. And he's like, oh, that's incredible. He looks over, and he actually holds the sword, and it goes full of dust, it's a grime and everything. And she starts beating it on the ground, actually cleans it off, and it's razor sharp. And he's just, oh, this is great. I can use this, this tool and everything. And it's like, I can actually forge my own path. And it's like, that's actually something cool for everyone else, to learn from as well. This movie's full of lessons and tools for everyone to learn from it as well. It's not just sword sourcing, fight bad guys. It's full of ideas for them to learn from in the future as well. So he actually crawls out of the tomb, and you see that the dogs are still barking. Well, they're not barking anymore. When next time we see him, he actually made a fur coat and fur pants and everything out of his the dogs are trying to attack him. And that's when he comes across. Yeah, sword's nice. And he comes across the witch that I alluded to earlier, and then she starts to tell him about his path. He's just listening along, and then she brings up the idea of snakes. Snakes? You said snakes? With two heads? And then it's like, just an idea of that. And then, they get to love lots of sex in this movie. Good for them. Okay, so anyway, so they start to have some sex, and then that's when she turns into a little monster witch lady, and he throws her in the fire, and then she turns into the spirit of the night, I guess. And then she starts laughing and flies off into the sky, and he says Crom, so he's still a spiritual being, even though he's been kind of turned to a savage. He still has his Sumerian spirit to him as well. And next enough, he goes and he meets Subadai, who is a thief, but he's been left to the wolves to be eaten. And he says, please, give me food. Give me strength so that I can defend myself. And he's like, who says that you will? And they share a laugh, and actually Conan recruits him as, not going to recruit, he befriends him. And they actually, are eating, around the campfire and everything, and they're talking about their gods. And that's when we learn about Crom. He laughs from his high mountain. And we learn about Subadai's god, who actually is the wind, where the mountain is actually underneath the wind. It's interesting.
The four winds. The four winds.
The four winds. Thank you. And then you actually see Conan actually, it's like, oh shit. Yeah, that actually makes sense. So Conan isn't like a dumb brick. Sex of the wish, the first section. Scared. Yeah, that's actually that's actually sunk into my dreams as well. It's like, what the hell did I just watch as well? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Tom. Yeah. Yes, the Atlantean sword. That's the name of the sword. It's called the Atlantean sword, actually. So, and it's funny. That's actually part of Mako's actual opening speech. It's actually before the oceans drink Atlantis. It's called the Atlantean sword as well. So it's a nice little bit of thing for that as well. So, crap. Where was I? Crap.
After the witch. After Mako.
Sex scene get you stuff.
Okay.
The wind. You were talking about the wind.
So they're done eating, and they're off moving along, and they go to where the first snake temple is, and they want to get some plunder. And they actually meet up with Valeria. You want me to keep going, or we gotta pass off now?
Well, I'll pass it to Jetta Granville, but I want to cover like every time we pass a little bit, I just want to get some stuff done. To ask, because I didn't know, I kind of heard it was Atlantean sword, but was that a king or was that a giant? Because I remember his dad saying in the beginning that giants, where giants ruled over the earth or something like that, and
it was just a king.
It was just a king.
I think the idea though was that in a way Conan saw it as like a gift from Crom. That's how he kind of looked at it. He says because that's why he projects that human that was there being Crom, like because the sword is there being presented as a gift to him to live on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he just kind of saw that as, oh, okay, this is what my dad's talking about. This is what Crom is, and that's why he appreciates it and takes the sword and all that shit.
Okay, yeah, that, and then going back to some of the things that he said about the witch, and her, like, oh no, there's a price. You want knowledge? There's a price, and you gotta give me the schlong. That's pretty much what she said. So that's that, and then that was, she was hot, bro. I was like, wow,
Oh,
but
yeah, she was.
I like the aesthetic. I like the aesthetic of the fact that she's hiding her true form. She's hiding her true form underneath the guise of a shapeshifter.
I mean, let's face it. She's all like, "Well, there's a heavy price, barbarian," and I'd be like, "Okay, sign me up. I'm here."
Yeah, like, yeah, no condom.
Right? Look, no lube or any kind of thing like that. That's the thing.
She's like, I want it raw. I want it raw. No, but yeah, it's like no, yeah. And then what was some other things that you mentioned? Like well, Gojira pretty much nailed everything. That was a good reference to where it's going to. So now they're getting plunder. They're going to like little cities to cities, getting supplies, getting
But he's also looking for the
snakes.
Yeah. He's trying to find more information on the snake cults, and that's why they talk about the towers that are full of snakes. And then they go to one market. They go to one market, and they find out about one of the merchants tells them about the sect, the towers of sect, or something like that, about the snake cult. And then we'll leave it at that. I'll give it to Walter as they run into Valeria.
Yeah, and it's funny when he runs into that merchant. He said after he tells him the information, he tells me, say, I don't know anything. It's like, you told him more than you said that you don't know. I mean, it's like they used to not be, but it was like one or two, but it's not like it's so many in different cities now. You say, it's like, I don't know anything else. Like, dude, you know more than what you just told him. What the hell are you talking about? And then what the hell?
Sorry. Think, Bill.
Must have been Crom.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Sorry.
You might have been still thinking about that sex scene, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
So getting back to the story. No, but the merchant also
people.
Yeah. But he offers up Conan and what's the guy's name? Subutai. Some kind of whatever, some kind of hash or whatever, anything, and they get a little, drunk or high, whatever. And this is a scene that I really love in this moment before they meet Valeria. Conan runs up on a camel, and he just cold hits that camel, and I'm just like, okay, hits the camel, and then all of a sudden the camel just falls over. And I'm like, damn, he's that strong. I'm like, all right, shit, that's like, I guess he's that powerful. But yeah, they go to the tower, and that's when they encounter Valeria, and Conan, I think, no, it wasn't Conan, it was Sabadai saying that, or was it Conan? I forget. Said that you're not a guard. He's like, well, you're not one either, So
you're no guard.
Yeah, no guard. That's what it is. Thank you. And like I say, what they say, that's like, we're here to rob things. Like, and she tells them, like, you don't even have a rope, because when you see her come out of the shadows, she's actually got a rope, and that's what she's there to do herself, to rob the rob the place, So, and she says, like, well, you go first if you think you're so brave and everything. And they climb up the tower, and they go in down deep, wherever it is, and then they get to a certain level, and there's a ritual going on where some girl is supposed to be sacrificed and everything. She tells them to go, well, let me stay on this level. You go down further and see what else is down there. So she gets a robe from one of the girls that's in the ceremony. The other two, they go down, and they go down to this pit where there's this big ass snake, huge snake. And the funny thing about this the snake, this is way before CGI and everything. This was a very nice looking animatronic snake that they created for this film. I gotta say, it was very realistic. So they find there's some, like, say, jewels and everything. They see this one that this like big, really red one, is sticking out. So
The eye of the serpent.
The eye of the serpent. Yes,
The eye of the serpent.
So
Jinx.
they grab that. But the thing about it is, you thinking like, okay, the snake is just sleeping, but you still have to see that eye kind of like open up, like, you know, and then that's when all hell breaks loose. And I'm telling you, this is a brutal scene. I look, I am a animal lover, you know, and I mean, I don't like to see no harm come to animals whatsoever. But dude, that was a brutal mess, because first, Conan stabs him in the jaw, you know, just like that. And like I said, he's getting bloodied up and everything. Then Sciciety, you know, shoots him against the wall, you know, I think 3 times, something like that, 3 times against the wall. And then he beheads him, man. I'm like, that is, I mean, I know this is an animatronic. I mean, I know it's, but that was so freaking real how they did it. I mean, he just like slides, like, and when he finally does the final blow, he's like, I'm gonna hit it again, but it's like, oh, it's dead. It's been cut off. Yeah. So now the ceremony that's going on top, where this girl is about to be sacrificed to this snake, where we see some nice, you know, memories.
Stuff.
Tatas. See some nice tatas. Yeah.
And I think she's just being, you know, seduced, or, you know, kind of getting enchanted by sacrificing herself on her own will, you know, doing this. And then when she's ready, she jumps in, but can't do anything because the snake's already dead. So, and then the guy that's one of Doom's henchmen, he said, "Infidels, kill them." And this is where this is the moment where Valeria, she's saying that infidels and everything, and homeboy looks back at her. He's like, he's like, she fights her way out of there. And this is a great trick here. What she does when she escapes, she takes one of the guards, ropes him around, and, you know, drops him down the well, and she pulls her up to the top real fast. And I'm just like, boy, she got, and you see how it rips the robe off of her real quick. It's like, this is her real outfit. So it's like, get up and get out of there. So as they get out of there, you know, he tells them to kill them, but it's like, they're long gone. They're out of there, you know, they're done. So they go to, celebrate their worth, their plunder and everything. And we come up on a very delicate, and I have to say, I like this scene where Valeria and Conan kind of, you know, they just share one another, because he gives her the stone, the eye of the serpent, but he gives her the one-eyed Willie to her, and they're just like, yeah, and I had to say, I mean, before I think you told me that
he gave her his own one-eyed snake.
Yeah, and like I say, when I watched this the replay of it, I'm just amazed that they are really going at it, you know, passionately. But as I've been told, they had behind the scenes had done, you know, Schwarzenegger and they had done this
before.
You know,
they had done this before. So I guess maybe they were just catching up with times in this scene and made it so believable. Because for one, was just like, wow, this is really a passionate scene. They're really doing this, you know. But I don't want to go any further, because I mean, like I said, I'm getting to the part where it comes up to King Ulrich. Is it
Osric?
They're coming up because the narrator says, you know, with all that you've done, you know, the wealth and everything, but there is a debt to pay because you see that one moment where Conan, he's so drunk, he just like falls into his food and just like that, you know.
His cereal.
The cereal, if you want to call it cereal, I mean, it's smoking. So King Ulrich's guards comes in, and they're looking for them specifically because they know that
you know what you've done.
Yeah, exactly. So now you want to keep going? Because I mean, I can keep going with this, because
Can I just say one thing
we'll
real
pass
quick?
it.
Can I just
Yeah,
say
go
one
ahead,
thing
go
real
ahead.
quick? The soundtrack for this movie is so good by itself, by Basil Baldaris and Zoe Baldaris. Outstanding, just during the fight sequences and just during the ambiance scenes, just to listen to it, especially during the snake cult fight, when they're fighting their way out of it, and during the other fight sequences, just especially the Anvil of Crom and Riders of Doom, specifically just those two songs. Just listen to those two songs, just outstanding. Okay,
well,
during the opening sequence, and and the scene where they got out of the snake cult. All right, that's all I just wanted to say. I just wanted to just bring a little shout out to those. Just to the soundtrack.
But I want to add something to that, Gojira. It's funny that you said the main thing, and I don't know if any one of you guys noticed this. Do you notice the main opening theme that Basil does? If you've seen the original Total Recall, do you notice it's almost like note for note almost with the opening score for that film for the film that Jerry Goldsmith wrote? I don't know if you noticed that. I mean, it's not the exact, but you gotta feel like it's almost a homage to Conan, since Schwarzenegger started in that film too. But I don't know if any of you noticed that.
And my buddy Michael Prince is in the house in the
chat. What's up,
what's
up, Michael?
What's up, Michael Prince? How you doing?
What do you call it? What do you call it? Yeah, man, I was gonna say I'll go back to I'll ask Anubis this thing too, but the part where before when they get to when they finally get they're reveling in what they got. They got the eye of the serpent. They did all this, and then they're partying and throwing freaking money away like nothing, and trust me, bro, I've been there, dude. Watching Conan when he's looking like shit, like he's hungover as hell, dude. And he just falls into his soup. Like I know how that is. It's funny. And then when Valeria just tries to wake him up and she pushes him and he just falls right off the table. And
yeah,
that's
they're
also
both
really
so high and drunk that
yeah, dude. And then Subotai wasn't even. And then that's when Valeria says, "I thought there was a third." He's like, "Oh, she says, he's
dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
He's dead. Lion ate him.
The lions ate him."
And he's like, "Oh, well, then who's that?"
The lions ate him.
Hey, but at least they're covering for each other. I mean, they're trying to cover for each other. At least that's a good thing, But there is at that time there is honor among thieves, So at that time, and that's the thing. They become thieves. Like that's how they have to make a living. They're thieves or whatever. Conan goes from pit fighter, gladiator to warrior to thief, and all that stuff. So. And yeah, it's a lot of good stuff, man. Like that's what anybody would have to do. That is a reality. It's not just a sword and sandals or swords and sorcery. Like it's like any other life. Like you do something, you want to let off steam. You want to, hey man, we've been freaking fighting for how long? And freaking Conan's been fighting for 18 something years and shit. And he's freaking
probably more.
He wants to party. He wants to live a little. Wants to get drunk. Wants to smash some chicks and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's what I like about it. It's on a realistic level, even though it's a sorcery film. So we're at the part where they're talking to King Osric, and that's where he gives them ultimatum. So I'll leave that to Alvin Werewolf.
So King Osric, he tells Conan and the trio. Oh, sorry, the duo. What? Wait.
I'll eventually a trio.
Trio. Okay. Yeah, but he tells them that his daughter is a part of the cult of Doom, and he's now on a quest to rescue his daughter from the cult. And so they travel west. Is that right? West? Is that where the Doom? I watched it, but I can't.
I I don't even know if they said. I don't even know if they said.
Probably
West
doesn't
or
even
East.
matter. They
Yeah.
traveled.
Yeah, it doesn't
They
matter.
go. They go.
Yeah, but so they're after the cult of doom because it's kind of a revenge style, this part, because Conan's after the person that killed his family, in the sense, because so eventually they meet a wizard named Mako. I mean, sorry, is that his name? I can't.
You're not wrong.
Huh?
You're
His
not
name's
wrong.
Akira.
Essentially, it is him. I mean, yeah.
What's
You're not-
does the wizard have a name? Can't think.
Yeah,
Akira.
Akira.
It's Akira, but yeah,
Akira.
it's hard to differentiate him. He has such a powerful voice. When you hear his voice, you just see him. But it's hard to. I understand it happens, but yeah, it's Akira. But yeah,
Mako is a wizard anyway, so
yes, yeah. It happens. I understand completely when that happens. Yeah, like when I saw him in what was it? The film where he was the martial arts film where with Chuck Norris. It's like I still saw him. Yeah, what's up?
That was Sidekick.
Sidekick. Yeah, I saw him still as Akira in that. So he has such a powerful voice. It's like I understand exactly what you mean. So yeah, it happens. Yeah.
But anyways, Conan, they find the cult of doom, and they're all robed, the priest, and the people, and Conan talks to this one guy who's a priest, and he says, "Let's come over here." And
well, keep in
so
mind
what he
also
does-
he left Valeria and Subutai behind.
Oh, that's
He
right. I
went by
forgot about that.
himself.
He left Valeria and Subukai. And when he left them, then now come fast forward to the cult scene. And like I said, he meets the one priest, and he's like, "Here, come over here, let's do it." He punches him in the gut and then knocks him out or something. I don't know if he killed him or knocked him out, but close enough. And then he goes in disguise to the cult, and he sees the priestess, and we also see Doom come out, and his two royal guards are with him also. And when he's there, Doom kind of recognizes him or something, and he gets taken out, and kind of slavery, kind of like the beginning in a sense when he's young. He gets tortured, it feels like to me, in that part. So he gets captured by Doom, gets tortured, and Doom wants to. I can't remember the quote from Doom, but there's something. Do you want something about life or something?
Somebody flesh was strong.
Yeah,
that line.
Huh?
Yeah. Anubis. Do you remember what he says?
Which part?
You remember what Thulsa? He's
Doom
already
in
captured.
The cult part after.
Oh, is this after he's been beat up and roughed up?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact verbiage, but he's basically they know that he's one of the thieves that killed the snake at the tower.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're, Thorgrim and company have been beating the shit up out of him. And so he's like, he starts going on about how you killed my fucking snake.
Uh-huh.
What do you want over there, asshole?
I know.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Teacher, I know the answer, teacher.
Yeah, I think it's
No, Matt's being bad. Hazel's being fine. She's sleeping.
Well,
Hey,
okay. Go ahead. Go ahead, Gojira. Go ahead, man.
Okay, so in the Tower of the Snakes, when they fought earlier, before they took the Eye of the Serpent, Conan actually saw this pendant, a green pendant with the 2 snakes on it, that actually caught his eye first.
Yep, that's right.
And he actually took that first. And he was holding on to that actually first. And he actually held on to that, and he actually wore that around his neck. And when they actually when Conan actually separated himself from Sodai and Valeria, he went to this massive, gathering of snake people and actually, disguised himself and actually started to get himself closer. He actually used this snake pendant to actually barter his way to get closer. The only problem is that this thing was one of a kind. Once he showed this off, he let himself be known, hey, it was me who got into, because this thing was in this one spot. Once they knew that this thing was here, hey, the thief is here, so shit. Once they knew he was there, they knew, hey, this is the dude. That's when they captured him, and that's when they started beating him up. Once they started beating him up, that's when Thulsa Doom was like, it's you. And
I wish to see you now.
Yes. I wish to speak with you now. And where is the Eye of the Serpent? Possibly for a night's pleasure. What a loss.
He's not lying.
It's true.
Who wants to see what real power is? Come here, child.
Right.
Yep.
And actually, he actually made a girl.
Well, actually, you skipped a part.
Okay, please, enlighten us.
Yeah,
he's mad now because I'm doing the same shit.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that when he starts grilling Conan says, "You killed my parents.
You killed my mother.
You killed my mother.
You killed my father. You killed my entire people."
And then he starts rambling about steel, and that's when he goes, "Riddle of steel." And he's like, "Yes, you know that, boy." And so that's when he starts saying, "Oh no, we have the power of flesh now. So go ahead. Now you're into where you're going with the power of flesh."
Oh, Anubis. Yes, you know what it is, don't you, boy?
Yeah, exactly.
But steel is a strong boy. Flesh is stronger.
Yes.
Look around
What is steel without the hand that holds it? That wields it.
Look, that is strength, boy. That is power. The strength, the power of flesh. What is steel compared to the hand that wields it?
Right.
Yep. Okay, go ahead, Gojer. After that,
So that's pretty much what it was. Is that's the part that's that got him. All right, so we all kind of.
I fucked up his train of thought.
Yes. No.
Sorry.
No. That's where we're going to. All right. All right. Werewolf. That was your spot. Okay. That was the spot where we're getting to. But no, werewolf. Take it. No, we're getting back to that part. That was the little spot that we got. That's where you're getting to. All right. So take it away. It's still your spot, dude.
Is it my spot, or do you want me to switch it?
No. It's still your spot. Okay.
No, go ahead. Keep going. Keep going.
No, it's still werewolf spot. It's just that one little spot you got confused about. Yeah, you're just confused about that one spot. It's just it's still you. Yeah, keep going. It's you.
Sorry, that's funny.
You weren't confused before, now you are, because Matt just totally fucking confused everybody.
You have to see what Tony wrote.
I confused you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, my comic's name Mr. Tony of the Dead.
Oh. Mine. I call mine Infinity because it goes on forever.
Oh, you don't call it Black Mamba?
My cock needs no name. My cock needs no name.
It's a horse with no name.
Oh god. Okay.
Right.
Now we're just going off the reservation. We're totally falling in.
We're going off the rails.
I feel like I'm undermining some people, so I'm just gonna sit here quietly.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Werewolf, leave off where you left off at, man.
Yeah. What he said to you. Anyways, Conan, after he gets captured, he gets tortured enough that he hang him to the tree of woe or something. Exactly
Yeah.
the quote.
Contemplate this on the tree of woe.
Contemplate. Yeah. But anyways, he's crucified on it, and the vulture is just pecking at him like that rapidly, and I really like that effect. It's like you see the blood just dripping from him with it. And then after a while, you see Subutai running in the distance, running in the background, running from forward, and Subutai comes, and I think he's the one that cuts him off the tree and stuff. And then Mako comes. He's wounded enough that they feel like he's gonna die or something. So they use, with Valeria in tow, they save him by
Sweet.
Screen glitch for a second. That's why I said that. They saved him from demons.
Yeah.
And Valeria and Subutai help fend them off. Sorry, I've got the plot next to me. Sorry.
Well, just remember too. I'll help you along the way. There was something that the wizard said to Valeria. It's like there's a very big price to pay for doing this particular ritual that they had to do to keep him from being taken away from the spirits. So let's help you about that.
Yep. And might I add, that's a cool scene because initially when I was watching it back in the day on this tiny TV, you could never really see the spirits, but as you got better technology in TVs and got to rewatch it, you can see those little demons, man. That was really great work back then for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll also add too that we forgot to mention Mako, man. That's one thing we forgot to mention them during their raid to get what do you call it, to get the princess for King Osric. And I like when they finally get to that point where they rescue Conan. He's pretty much near dead. He's like pretty much he's dying. So I like when she says that, you say you were a wizard. Do the gods owe you any favors? He's like, no. He's like, well, there's a heavy toll for that. There's a heavy toll to wanting the gods for help or asking for this. He's like, well, I will pay them. He says, I will pay. She says, I will pay them if we can, and she says, like, tonight they're gonna try to take him. The demons or whoever, they're gonna try to take him. They want his soul. They want his soul, and they'll try to take him.
Oh,
and they call it
Jira's camera there.
Yeah,
that's what I like about it. And Subutai, and you can tell Subutai and Valeria are very concerned, man, that he might die.
Yeah.
So that was there's very few like really soft, or not soft, but like very melancholy type of scenes in this because it's such a brutal movie. But you can tell like when they're really trying, they're concerned for his safety. So, and once they do come and Valeria and Subutai fend them off, you could tell like at the end she's crying because they could have nearly took him. I mean, if they weren't there, he would have been gone. He would have been, he would have been for these demons or these whoever they were, gods or whoever. Yeah. But
because you see how when they lift them up and everything, and she has to kind of push him down from.
Yeah, I noticed that effect.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good scene. And then at the end, when they're gone, she's crying because she's like, man, they almost freaking took him, almost took him. Hold on, give me a second.
Is he coming back? Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Right there. Yeah, right there. It's right there. Everything all right? Hold on, give me a second. Werewolf, everything all right, Gojira?
Yeah, my thing keeps on screwing up.
Oh.
All right, it's cool. It's cool. So we'll keep going. Okay, so just finish off Werewolf, and then we'll move it back to Anubis.
Do you want me to finish off this part?
Yeah.
Or
Sorry.
Yeah.
So I think I was done after the demons part.
Okay, you were done?
Yeah, or did you want me to go on to the next?
No. I'll pass it to Anubis. Take it from there, Anubis.
So where am I picking up from?
You're picking up on the
After he survived?
Yeah, after the night.
Tony and he is survived. Has survived and stuff.
Yeah, so once Conan survives, he's gonna retry to go get the princess Yasima, and now Kobatai and Valeria is gonna join him. And this is like actually one of my favorite parts of the movie because they put the war paint on. That shit looks legit awesome on all of them. I fucking love that look. And they're gonna go infiltrate through the caverns in the back way of the mountain of Doom, I think it's called. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's the Temple of Set. That's
Temple of Set. So
thank you, Oben Wolf.
Yes, thank you.
So they sneak in there and they're pinpointing where the princess is. She's by the throne where Doom is sitting, and this is kind of a really cool part too. There's like this back and forth between what they're doing and what's happening with Doom, and so Doom just sitting there, and then all of a sudden you see first his eyes go into like a reptile look, and then we go back to it. And plus he had a cheetah next to him or some sort of leopard. That shit was cool too. That was lit. Yeah. She's by his side, typical princess there. Then also it goes back, and all of a sudden we start seeing his mouth becoming elongated, so like you can see he's changing into something. And eventually he ends up turning into like a huge snake, and he starts slithering off. Now the other ones, the trio, they're taking candles and lighting fire to like the drapes that are hanging there, and we see like these slaves in there, and it's like one big ass orgy. They're drinking some sort of what would you call it, Matt? What would be that stew they were making? It was like cannibalism, but it had some sort of a aphrodisiac or something in it. Because I think it was like a drug that was allowing them to like kind of get into ecstasy and shit like that.
It's like a human bougie.
In the comments about what he's talking about.
It's like a human bougie, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's definitely made out of human beings, you know.
Yeah,
there's some
skulls in there. Yeah, and then homegirl over there grabs a hand out of it and starts eating it. It's like whoa,
like carrots.
Like, hey, she takes a bite out of it like she's Bugs Bunny. She's like,
and the thing that always got me about this was like, so these guys that are walking around and carrying this shit, and they've got like these half like helmet type things on, look almost like skin or something, but they're also engaging with these beautiful women in like an orgy. I'm like, well, what do they find sexy with these dudes? They must be blind, because I'm just not understanding that part of it at all. But anyway, everyone's kind of busy doing their own thing, and these three are sneaking around, and all of a sudden Conan decides he's going to push this big ass pot of the stew that they're making, and it's going to roll down, and the game's on. Everybody starts cutting up, these slaves, and chicks are running, and shit's getting crazy. And of course, Princess Yasina wakes up, and she sees that Doom's not there anymore. So Valeria is trying to grab her, and of course, much like the snake cult, she starts hissing at Valeria.
Like a cat.
Yeah, right.
Well, I thought it was like a snake he was trying to be, but it could be a cat too.
Yeah, she's like,
I really like this.
What are you doing?
They're wreaking havoc on the kid, freeing. I felt like they were kind of freeing the slaves in a sense in that part, and I think that's cool. And then I don't know if Center showed it on chat or not, but about the comment about the pot. But there's a hand, and then there's a skull.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, I got something right here. I got something for it right here, right for that scene. Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah.
So there, just wanted to throw that out there for the scene and like as Anubis is saying. Oh, sorry, Olin Wolf. I'll get to you right now, but just this part right here that we all got to start with. You guys hear it?
Yeah.
Anvil of Chrome.
Yeah.
I love that theme.
Yep.
Me too.
That's the whole part. Like when they start, and then when they finally make their presence known, and that's when Subutai and Valeria are starting to we're gonna take out the stragglers. We're gonna get the princess. Conan, do your thing, whatever. They didn't even tell him nothing. They're like they know he wants to kill them. Mm-hmm. So that's the best part. Okay, now you can I go back to Olin Wolfman. Go ahead.
Huh? Go back to the movie? What I was
what you were saying,
about the pot.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's in the pot. I just put this in the comment. I'll just read what I said. I said it's a really small detail. It's in the pot there that people are eating out of. There is a hand and there's a skull in it. You see the skull when it gets tipped over. When they tip the pot over, and all that liquid, whatever is in there, tips out in that scene. Then you can see the skull.
Right.
Yeah.
I noticed it.
Yeah. Well, even before that, when you can even see when they were even sneaking in right in the and you can see on the. I don't know if you guys saw at the corner of your eye. There was even those guards that Anubis was talking about. They're bringing down bodies, like they're bringing down like the
ingredients.
The disemboweled, like freaking cattle. They're bringing down the bodies of women, girls, whoever they're just bringing it down and just say, oh, let's get it ready for whatever we're gonna make it for.
We're gonna feed on
nice to cannibalize and to cannibalize eating human flesh while we get jiggy on a freaking orgy bed, whatever it's called.
Hey, whatever takes your fancy.
I don't get it.
Oh, I don't either.
But now now keep going, Anubis. Now the battle. Battle.
So the greatest scene in cinematic history happens where because you're waiting for it. You know that they think that Conan is dead already. So Rexor and Thorgrim show up. Thorgrim's got his big ass hammer. Of course, Rexor's got actually one of Conan's dad's swords from the back in the day. But they show up and Rexor looks and he sees Conan, and then all he just sees is like, and then pulls up like this. He's like, I fucking love that so much. And then he's like, you. So then they engage in a battle, and Thorgrim, Thorgrim, despite how cool of a character is dumb as fucking rocks. Is like he ends up hitting that fucking pillar and actually shattering it to the point that it starts collapsing. Hits Rexor in the head and knocks his ass out. And he just looks at his hammer like, did I do that?
Yeah.
So that gives Conan the opportunity to get out and get away with Valeria and Subutai, and they fight their way out of the cavern. And it's a very cool scene because you see Valeria; she's able to fight, jumping on walls, and again, this is Sandra doing her own stunts, so she's doing all this, which is kind of cool. And then, of course, they get on their horses and they're running away, and then Doom comes up. He's got the two guys with him, and they're at the entrance of the cavern, and it's getting dark, and they can see out in the distance that they're on their horseback trying to get away. And Doom pulls out his snake, just kind of crawling there, and straightens it up into an arrow, and hits Valeria right in the side. And so, but again, there's that great quote from Doom beforehand. He's like, now they will know why they fear the dark. And so then he shoots the arrow, hits Valeria, and then they have to stop a little bit of ways away. And this is where Valeria dies on him. She's like, let me breathe my last breath into your mouth. And that's what ends happening. So I'll shift it over to Gorgiro. He can pick it up.
So after she's hit with the arrow, she even says, "Wizard." He told me I'd have to pay. So yes, she says that let me breathe my last breath. It's a very romantic scene, and then he brings her back to the desert, and then he brings her to a spot where to give her like a funeral pyre, and then Akiro's like, "Why bring her there? Fire will not burn there." Puts her there, and then he actually, it's no matter through will, Crom wills it. He brings the fire there, and it burns, and he actually sets her, and he actually, cremates her.
Can I ask you something real quick, Goji?
Yeah, sure.
You're pretty grounded in the lore of Conan, right?
Yeah, you try to. Yeah.
So that scene, is that like something that actually happens in the books and the comics? The only reason why I asked is like I don't know if anyone really else kind of felt this way about it, but the table that she's on the hill reminds me a lot of the witch, the wardrobe, and all that.
The lion, the witch, and the lion.
And so it just reminds me a lot of that, and I don't know if that took inspiration from that particular novel, just for that scene. But that's why I was wondering if this was something that happened in the comics with Conan, like this actually happened.
Well,
that's good.
Well, I'll add to this to what I know Gojira and Anubis is saying. This is loosely based on the comics.
Okay.
Yeah, they did say it's like based off a lot more of the Cole the Conqueror stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not really based too much on the actual comics. That was said that it was more based off of like what you said, Call of Conqueror, but it's not. I think that was inspired by something. It could be the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah, I was just curious because it looks exactly kind of like the design of it. Just reminds me a lot of that.
I saw that too. I was thinking that same thing, Anubis.
Yeah, the funeral pyre. There you go, the funeral pyre, or she goes.
So, sorry,
she
Goji,
goes.
didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, well, remember before I get back to Goji. Remember Goji, he mentioned Valhalla.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Conan mentioned Valhalla, so I think they kind of mixed it more with Norse mythology, a little bit of Norse mythology.
Yeah,
I was thinking that too.
I just wanted to throw that out there. Now go ahead, take it away again. Yeah.
Okay, so the fire is burning, and Akira is amazed as Sobadai begins crying. So Akira is like, "Why are you crying?" So Sobadai actually is like, "He is Conan, Sumerian. He will not cry, so I will cry for him." So it shows that he has a strength. He has feelings and he has emotion to him. And we see this, in a future scene, which we'll get to. But it shows that he has a strength, he has a passion, but he actually has values to him as well. And as we have in the future. So as the fire begins to die, as the sun begins to rise, we hear the child actually say, "He has seen your fire. He will then come for me," and she's like gloating, like nah, he's gonna come in, blah blah blah. So that's when he begins. Then Conan and Sobadai actually begin, getting ready for the up and coming battle with Thulsa Doom. Which I brought this up earlier, pre-stream, so I'm gonna bring this up now. Thulsa Doom is actually not a Conan the Barbarian enemy. He's actually, as we brought up earlier, Call the Conqueror. He's actually a Call the Conqueror enemy. And actually, he's more of a demon in Call the Conqueror, but they repurposed him as a enemy for Conan the Barbarian and made him more of like a snake cult enemy of this. But, it's actually more interesting, what they did with him in this. And he's and more of a more powerhouse performance by James Earl Jones, which we all know him for as Darth Vader, but I would say him as, Thulsa Doom in this film is almost more than Arnold Schwarzenegger in this film, because, he has a tendency of stealing the show from pretty much everybody in every film that he's in. Whether he's on the show House with Hugh Laurie, I'd say he's kind of stole the show more from him in that show. But, in other films, and TV shows, he's a guest starred on as well. But maybe I'm stretching, but then again, I thought he did an outstanding job in this film. But
But the
So-
funny thing is, they said that both Jones and Schwarzenegger took a lot of direction and advice from Max Sadal, who they both admired a lot on the set. So they were just taking, like, learning all these acting chops, because Schwarzenegger came with like almost no acting skills in this film.
Right.
So it's like Jones just, I don't know, man, like the fact that Jones still put on that kind of performance and, he's still asking for advice from Max is like pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So they continue to get ready, laying in spears, collecting weapons. Which Kiro actually has a bunch of weapons and armor actually laying about around his area, which I can only assume that these are warriors traveling the desert and not knowing where they're going. So Kiro would actually come across their dead bodies and actually collect their weapons and also their dead bodies, which Conan would actually set up traps, which we'll get to that when Thulsa Doom would actually, start heading towards the area to collect it. Oh, go ahead.
I was like, hold that thought real quick, Gojira.
Okay.
I remember that little thing that thing that Conan says when they're getting ready. He says it's him and Subutai that are talking. They're reminiscing before the battle, and then Conan says, "Would you change anything in your life?" He says, "It's not. It's never too."
I'm about to get to that.
Yeah,
I'm about to get to that. Okay.
Yeah. He says it's never too late. But I just one thing he'll say. He says that for us there is no spring. There is only the wind that smells fresh before the storm.
No blueberries.
Thothamon.
Exactly.
Olvin mentioned something about Thothamon.
Yeah, Thothamon is on. He's in the second film. So okay, go ahead, Kojira. Just didn't mean to say that. Go ahead, bro.
No, well, so yeah, they were reminiscing, and Conan was talking about, eating fresh. Was it blueberries or fresh blueberries? As a child, and how that was taken from him, and so here comes Thulsa Doom, and they're playing the Riders of Doom. Again, fantastic music, written for this film, and then Conan actually, has a moment, to himself. He says, "Crom, I've never prayed to you before. I have the tongue for it. No one, not even you, can remember if we are good men. And please don't butcher me if I don't remember the words completely. It's been a long time, but he says, okay,
if you don't, to hell with you."
Yeah, it's like, grant me revenge, and if you do not listen, then to hell with you. So essentially, it's almost like a goodbye, but also give me this last strength, to right some wrongs, pretty much. It's just something that we've all wanted, at one time in our lives. So please, sci-fi. No, go ahead, sci-fi.
I think you're. Yeah, I think you remember. I remember. He says, we will not remember if we were good man or bad. Why we fought, why we died. It is two against many. That's what's important. So grant me one request. Grant me revenge. And if you do not listen, then to hell with you. Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. I knew I was forgetting one. I knew I was forgetting one passage from that. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. So then it stops from Riders of Doom and it starts to almost play kind of a little cheeky kind of music as the Riders of Doom, which is funny because it's Thulsa Doom's army. Not really army. It's more of like his little skirmishing pack. It starts to ride around the little traps. And it's kind of funny that these little traps are being set because all those years that Conan was actually on the wheel of pain, actually pushing that thing, now he's actually setting all these traps, all those huge muscles that he has now, that no one else in the... I couldn't push those damn spring traps to be able to, set those up. They're taking out everybody. The guy with the big ass hammer, he didn't see that shit coming, and he's dead. And then he fights the guy with his father's sword, and gets into a fight with him. And then, it seems like it's almost over. He gets the upper hand, and then we get a scene where, Valeria, it's almost like a scene, she comes back almost like as a Valkyrie. It's so again, another nod to Norse mythology.
Yeah,
right
that's what
there.
it felt like.
Yep, and our nod to Norse mythology, which I can't believe we didn't bring this up. Do you want to live forever?
Yeah.
Guys, you want to live forever?
Yeah.
And then Conan gets the upper hand, fighting back, actually breaking his father's sword, which that could actually brought down to poor sword care. Which earlier in the film we were talking about Thulsa Doom's talk about the riddle of steel. Earlier he was talking about must have been when I was younger. See, he was talking about wanting more humanly things in life, and that's like swords, gold, shit like that. But when you start a cult and crap like that, and you want to you want to take over the world and stuff, you stop worrying about gold and swords and stuff like that. You want to like control people, like he did with the riddle of steel, or like the riddle of actually controlling people, like he made the girl jump off the cliff and stuff like that. So the idea of having poor sword care and chopping the sword in half like he did in that, it's more like breaking the sword, not really chopping it in half. So that comes down to poor sword care. So that's an interesting little fact that they put into that. And then Thulsa Doom sees, well, shit, all my boys are dead, so it's time for me to, fuck off. So he starts to run away, and then he pulls out the snake crap again. It's like, okay, he's going to fire another snake. As the girl starts screaming, actually he yells out to him as father. He doesn't see him as a lover, which is interesting because it kind of implied to this, not really as, as like a father-daughter, but it's almost like kind of like a lover kind of thing. Because the rest of the film, Nubis brought this up. It's a very sexual film in a way, and it's almost like there's like a sexy kind of thing between those two. But no, she actually yells to him as father, fires his last snake arrow at her, but Subadai actually blocks it with a shield, and he's like, "Oh crap!" He rides away as they laugh at him, and Conan stands tall and proud, holding his father's sword. They win the day, and then, well, that's that. You want me to keep going, or we're going to hand it off to someone else?
We'll hand it off. We'll hand it off to Jedi Graham Bell. But let's talk about a few things on those scenes and everything.
Okay.
I didn't think about that when you mentioned the sword care about Conan's father's sword. That makes a lot of sense, because if you want a sword that was that freaking magnificently created by a human being, you're right. They didn't take care of it. They didn't oil the sword. They didn't sharpen it. They didn't cool it out, put it in water. They didn't keep it to the point where it would still be formidable. Like it would still be like, if they would have taken care of it, I don't think it would have broke. It wouldn't have shattered, and stuff like that. But I wanted to get to that because that's a good point that I did not think about.
Well, I think a lot of that was also, like in Rexor's case with the sword, is more like a trophy. Like, as you said, he didn't really appreciate enough how great a steel it was to keep the update on it. But because it was like somebody he conquered along with Doom, probably just more some trophy. But that probably pissed off Conan even more at that point.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. That's why I wanted to talk about it, because I never thought about that. Like, I didn't think about like, oh, I just thought it was weaker. I just thought it was a weaker sword. But if that's a very good point, that if they would have maintained that sword, they would have maintained it the way it should have been, it wouldn't have shattered. It wouldn't have broke. You know what I'm saying? But that's on them. Well, what can you expect from two lackeys who are all brawn and no brain? So
yeah, and proud.
That makes and proud. Yeah, exactly. But come on, man. If you're gonna build your own sword, you want your sword to last, right? You don't want it to freaking chip or crack. I mean, even swords, like you have to maintain them. We have to warm them up. You have to sharpen them, and then you even have to put them in water, because water strengthens them. It cools it off. It strengthens the sword. Even oil it. You have to oil the sword. You have to boil it too. You got to boil the sword. Not put it in. I mean, not like put it in lava and shit, but you got to boil it. To make it warm it up, and then you cool it again, because it makes it strong.
Right.
It's just like in the samurai. The same thing with them. But not literally cool it down. You don't want to ruin it. But yeah, I know what you mean. But now, Jedi Granville, get to the finale, man.
Oh man, the finale is an interesting one, because after the fight and after that, he does that motion that he does with the sword that he finds in the cave, his father's broken sword. Now he does this rising as like I'm victorious, or it's kind of like I say, victory to my.
This is for you, Father. This is for you, Father.
And then he does that one gesture that he did when he was when he captures, does that at the very last end, you know. So he goes back to the was it a Temple of Set? It's called Temple of Set. So Doom has all his followers gathered at night, you know, and he's speaking. I forget the exact things he's saying, but he's pretty much telling them, you know, we will be victorious in what we're doing and all these things. And Conan comes in from behind, you know, because he's about to put down the final blow on this guy. But this is what Doom is so good at what he does. He kind of starts talking to him, telling him,
my son,
you know, it kind of getting him to start thinking kind of off topic. I mean,
you have returned to me, my son.
Yeah, you've returned to me, my child.
For who? It's like, for who is your father, but not me?
Mm-hmm. Who gave you
go ahead.
No, but that's a good thing you bring that, because he's literally, this is how he seduces people into basically brainwashes people, you know, kind of trancing and everything. And for a second, you know, like I say, Conan is like buying this shit. He's buying this garbage that he's saying, you know, and he has a sword in his hand, and he's just like, well, if this is all I am, this is all I'm going to do, you know. But at that second, he just snaps out of it and looks at him, and it's like, oh, one strike, you know. And Doom is just like, what the fuck, you know? It's
he actually took a few strikes, because man,
I think
he was using his dad's sword, right? What was left of it?
He uses. That's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying the first strike.
It's like taking a butter knife and trying to cut someone's head off.
But then he does it again, and then it's like chops him, and then he takes the final blow and just like, oh, you know. And I think it's something that we mentioned before we started the stream that, you know, people were screaming. It's like, oh no, you know, our leader, you know, and everything and all that stuff. But Conan takes the head to them and shows it to him, you know, this is your leader. And then he just throws the head down on the steps.
Chucks it. He chucks it, bro. He chucks it.
Chucks that damn thing. And I said this before, it's like, it sounded like a coconut.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it was hollow.
I mean, it is like, but it shows right there, he was just a man, you know. And when he does that, you know, he's letting them know, it's like, you are free from this, you know, you're not, you know, brainwashed like this anymore. And then when he drops his father's sword, it's like, it's done. He's, you know, he's got his vengeance. He's pretty much avenged his family, his peoples and everything. And slowly people are starting to walk away and everything, and they disperse and everything. So for a while, Conan just sits there, you know, he thinks like the journey that he's gone on from this child to where he's at now. And, you know, hey, you know, it is what it is, but he realizes that it's possible somebody could start this up again. So he gets a lantern, and with a good distance throws that thing over into the
top of the fortress. The top of the fortress.
Yeah, it hit the top of the fortress.
Eventually starts to catch fire. And dude, I love this moment right here because it's blazing. And then when you see it from afar, it's like, okay, that's the end of Doom's bullshit cultist, you know, cult there, you know. It is done. It's over. You know, he did what he did, set out to do, and you know, the trial is over with, you know. But I want to add something here. I don't know if you've probably seen on the video that you get. You know, there's an ultimate take. Okay. Well, that I won't say it then.
Yeah. He carries. Oh no. I know what you're talking about. I've seen it.
Okay.
And, are you talking about the one with the princess?
Yes.
Yeah. He carries Princess back to her king, back to King Osric.
Mm-hmm.
But he
because that's not how it ends in the theatrical release, but on video, the different cut. That's how he.
If you have this cut, if you have this one, or if you have the original, I have the original too.
Mm-hmm.
The original cut of Conan, like it's an alternate one where he takes her, and that one I didn't see till later in life. I was like, holy shit, I didn't even know there was one.
You know, and I was kind of like, that's a different take. You know,
yeah, like even her, like when she killed him, like she led him there.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one that led him over there. She led him to she led him there, and that's why I was like, holy shit, like she actually led him there because well shit, you come on, girl, you're not hypnotized no more. Your freaking so-called father tried to freaking smoke you.
Yeah.
So it's like so she led him there, and then he did the whole thing like what Jedi just said, and then I will add on this right now we'll all add our thoughts on that scene where like you hear that mellow music after he kills Thulsa Doom, and then you see all of the cultists start throwing the candle in the water.
Mm-hmm.
They start throwing the candle in that little whatever it is. I think it's a fountain or something.
Yeah, it's like a
and I like that music. Yeah, like that music is really like old.
I like that.
Go ahead, Will.
Yeah.
I was saying I like that scene. What about the candle?
Yeah, like you could see like I guess when he killed them, whatever they were hypnotized, like it was shit. Like oh shit, where the hell am I? Damn, I thought I was in a village, and now they're wearing black robes. So it's like but I mean, now take it away then, Jedi Grambo.
Yeah, but like I say, at that end, I mean, because as you say, I think that at that moment when they do all that, they realize that, who am I following now? And it's like, yes, you're free. You're not in that mode anymore. So, but like I say, that alternate take and everything, how it ended. But after all that, we come to this one pinnacle scene that I thought was actually going to be in the main part of the movie, which is in the text about where Conan had went to. He's sitting on this throne. He's a little bit more aged. He has like I said, a little bit grayer and everything. And
got a beard.
He has a beard and everything. And I thought because I saw this in a promotional still. I thought that was what was going to be in the film, the main film itself, but it wasn't. But it was just saying that as the titles. The text saying, well, he went on to become a great king and everything. And then at the very end, it says, but that's another story. And
that's a tale for another time.
Yeah, yes. And that's when you realize, like, oh, okay. So what we find out when we just see that ending is like, oh, this is based on a comic book. So it is saying that this is another structure of a story that could be told in another time and place. So, and that's how it ends right there.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a great ending, man. And like I said, I did not see the alternate ending until later in life, so I didn't see that one.
I was gonna point out on the digital version, it does not have the ending like on digital. All it has is the ending that with him, on the throne and stuff. So I remember they did not show that version that what you're talking about on AMC even when I saw it back in the day.
Yeah, if you have this one, it's on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you have this one, it's on there. I also have the original Conan the Barbarian, the one with the what do you call it, the I think it's it's an older DVD, like way older, like 2004.
That's where I saw it.
But it's a great alternate ending. That's what I'm saying. That's why, I still want to get physical media, because there's a lot of shit they don't show anymore, especially on digital.
Yep. I know.
So my brothers, last thoughts. I will start with Jedi Granville.
Okay. What can I say about this film? This is, like I say, this was literally Schwarzenegger's breakout role, and I can say right now that was the one that got him out the gate running. And I'm so glad that they chose him for this part, because I couldn't see no one else playing this. I mean, the people at that time, this is back in '82. This is over 40 years ago. I can't imagine anyone else playing the part of Conan at that time. I mean, there would be people who would play him later on. Lame. But the simple fact is, I think he is the one and only Conan, no matter how you slice it. I mean, maybe you could get somebody just as debonair, charismatic, something like Schwarzenegger, but I don't think you can beat Schwarzenegger in playing that part. And for what he did, he really nailed it home for me, and I feel like this film is one of those classics that still is a classic to this day.
Yep. Oh, okay. Now, Alvin Werewolf.
I have to agree with what Walter said, or Jedi Granville, where it is a classic as indeed, and I really enjoy this one a lot. It's one a lot I'll probably go watch again eventually. And then see what I've noticed with other films is when I've watched them before, I'll notice stuff that I've never seen before. Taking point last night, what we did I had watched Live and Let Die. Sorry to get off track off Conan for a second, but what I did is I had watched it last night, and then on the show I had pointed out stuff that I had never seen never caught on my first or however many rewatches of Live and Let Die, for example, that I did. And now I catch small details on this movie that I never had not really noticed or seen, before. And I mean, small details make a big difference nowadays in movies. Also, I mean, it can affect how you look at it. So, I mean, I really enjoyed this movie, and I think it's one of Arnold's best movies.
Mm-hmm. Sweet. Gojira, the owner of an actual greatsword, my brother. Your last thoughts.
Again, yeah, this is one of Arnold's best films. And now, the idea of the sword and sorcery didn't start with Conan the Barbarian. Mm-hmm. This has to be the most influential sword and sorcery film as far as the Barbarian moving forward from here. We've got films like Masters of the Universe of Dolph Lundgren. We've got films like The Beastmaster. We've got TV shows like
Xena.
Like Xena. We got Hercules.
The Sword and Sorcerer.
Yes.
Excalibur.
Oh,
yes. We've got so many films
The
and television
Beastmaster.
shows.
The Beastmaster.
Yes, Beastmaster. Now, a lot of these films are good for their. Yes, I love Masters of the Universe. That's an excellent film, but they are inspired by this work, and it shows, and they all have their work to thank for this movie, and this is like the granddaddy of them in Hollywood, and this movie's outstanding. Arnold Schwarzenegger did an outstanding job in this, as everyone has said. Thulsa Doom being portrayed by James Earl Jones. Outstanding work. Max von Sydow, for his very limited role in this film, did a very powerhouse role. Everyone else in this movie, mwah, chef's kiss, outstanding. The music in this, I can listen to this music with no context. Not even, it doesn't have to be in the movie. It's outstanding. You can actually put this music to pretty much any other like action scene. I've seen this music put to other movies, and it works. This movie is just outstanding. Its sequel, people have bashed it. I don't give a shit. I love the sequel. The remake, I don't want to talk about the remake. The remake was disappointing. Jason Momoa. Was not. Maybe it's his first movie. Maybe he's gotten better with age and can do something better. I don't care. Go play go play Lobo for James Gunn. Okay, go do something else. Okay, don't be Conan ever again. Okay, go do something else. But leave Conan alone. They've been talking about wanting to do King Conan for like 20 years now. Don't leave Conan.
Just
leave
leave it
Conan
alone.
I don't want King.
They should have did it around when Stallone did Rambo 4. They should have did it then.
Exactly, like when Expendables came out, and Schwarzenegger was making like kind of a renaissance. They should have did it then, but like now, no, leave it alone. Don't do King Conan now. Okay, I love the character. I love those films. I love Schwarzenegger. Leave it alone. But this film, outstanding film. Absolutely recommend it to anyone and everyone who wants to watch it. And I'm done.
I was gonna ask something about the King Conan. Is there a way you can like kind of give us a brief summary of it, so the people that hear, don't know the story arcs and stuff of that? Is there a way to summarize that real quick?
Of what now?
Of King Conan.
A summary of King Conan, like his story arc. What is that about?
Essentially, King Conan was supposed to be, he has the idea of Conan the Destroyer is that he has his own kingdom. He has his own queen, and that he has his own kingdom, and that he was supposed to, have his own rule, and that. You ever read Beowulf or ever hear the tale of Beowulf?
I've seen the movie, so I know who Beowulf is.
Essentially, it's supposed to be the third act of Beowulf, where he's supposed to have his own kingdom in Denmark, and then he was supposed to fight the dragon at the end of it. The big golden dragon, which was his son. It was supposed to be something kind of like that, where he has his own kingdom, and he was supposed to fight like a giant monster, or fight like a giant like a dragon or some kind of giant monster or something. But he's like an older version of himself. And he's trying to find his old past glory, kind of like the Dark Knight Returns, where it's like an older Bruce Wayne, but then like some kind of like aging like a creature comes out, and he has to like find his old past glory, and he has to like find himself again. It's kind of like Rocky Balboa in 2005, where he has to come out of retirement and, like find his old glory pretty much. It's like they wanted to do that with Conan the Barbarian pretty much. That's like the best way I could put it pretty much.
Cool.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
If they did that back then, sure. But, all right. Sorry. Nubis. That's up to you.
No, it's okay. No, my bad, Gojira. No.
No. I'm done.
Okay. Go ahead, Anubis.
Yeah, so like Sentry, this is one of my favorite films of all time. Still a 10 out of 10. As Goji pointed out, it's amazing that the actors at the time, none of them were like really big superstars, but each one of them, no matter how small the role, was on point. Everything worked. The only downer was, of course, the young lady, Valeria Quenison, who played Princess Yazima. She died in a car accident like 6 years later, unfortunately, at the age of 31. So that was the only fucked up thing about that. But in this movie, top-notch stuff. I love Conan the Destroyer, but I do have this pet peeve about it, that it's not as gritty or dark as the first film, which, I know why they did it, but I just kind of hate it because I wish it would have been R-rated and stuff. But
me too.
It is what it is. It's still a fun movie. It's just a different movie, unfortunately. But this film is always going to be one of my favorite sword and sorcery films of all time. It's just always going to be up there. And yeah, I have no complaints about this film whatsoever.
Yeah.
No, man, I'm the same way, man. It's a 10 out of 10. Like I said, there's Godzilla, there's Castlevania, and there's Conan. So I'm like, this is probably in my top 10 of films of all time. And I as you guys can see, I know a lot of this movie by heart. So I even know what they say, know some of the quotes, some of the lines. That's how much I love this film, because it was one of those films where, it's not about toxic masculinity like a lot of people say nowadays. It was about real masculinity where motherfuckers can be masculine but not be fucking typecast for it. Not be judged for it, whatever. Like nobody nowadays back then, nobody were really that much like they weren't sitting on fucking, they weren't sitting on fucking dildos and shit all the time and being stuck and being like uptight all the time about, oh, you can't say this, you can't say that, you shouldn't do this. No, man. That back then they had no fear. The directors had no fear in doing their vision, making their vision of what they wanted. And that vision for Millis was it Millis and
John Millis.
Yeah, Millis, who directed it. Yeah, who directed it. That Conan was his masterpiece. Like, to me, it is a masterpiece of a film. Yeah. Very gritty, very hardcore. Like, didn't, even like I said, even when we go back to the accidents on set and what everybody went through, and I'm pretty sure it bore so much fruit that when they watched it, they're like, shit, man, all of our cuts and all of our hard work paid off in the form of Conan the Barbarian. And as far as that goes, man, that's all I've got to say about my part on this fantastic 1982 sword and sorcery film. And now
I'm gonna add on. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna add on. I feel now this is a masterpiece. This is right up there. It's a solid 10 for me. Also.
Okay.
Nice.
Hey,
yeah, man. No,
can I add one more thing too? Just add on it. As you said before, the pain that these people might have suffered for the film. There's this old saying. It's like, pain is temporary, but film is forever. And that's what this film does. It's forever burned in the back of our fandom minds. So.
Yeah.
Felipe Calveluto. I personally didn't know any of the books or the comics though, but
I vaguely do. I'm still, dabbling in it. I'm better known with the films. I'm vaguely know with the books.
Okay.
I know the comics.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. The comics, cool. Well, I mean, yeah. I think I'd rather read the comics than the books, but I'm not much of a novel reader. But yeah. Okay. So, guys, what you guys got coming up? I know, a few of us got, some content with Kevin Lambert coming up, but I'll just go through everyone who's got something going on real quick. Gojira.
Well, I don't have anything coming up anytime soon.
All right, cool. And Jedi Granville.
Well, yes, you mentioned Kevin. I'm going to be dealing with I'm going to be with him on 2 live streams dealing with King Kong versus Godzilla and King Kong Escapes. But I'm going to make a special appearance on Anubis's is it Anubis's? Yes, Anubis's this Saturday live stream.
Is it on my show?
It's on yours? Okay, on yours too. Well, I'm going to be on theirs talking about the man with the golden gun. So, and
good movie.
Have some fun on that one.
Oh.
Cool. Well, Alvin Wolf. That's pretty much what you mentioned, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then not this week, but next week we do have what's his name now? Anthony Jordan. He said he wanted to join us we were going to be doing a review of Mothra, 1964's Mothra versus Godzilla, February 20th. That is our next planned project on our Tokusatsu Action Land channel, on our Tokusatsu Action Thursday Night Titans show. That is really awesome. And if anybody likes Godzilla, Ultraman, Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Garo, Metal Heroes, all that cool geeky stuff, you gotta check it out. Also, like Jedi Granville said, Saturday, Saturday, February 15th at 8 o'clock on YouTube, we will be live with actually, we won't be live. We will be
not live on that one. Yeah, that's going to be recorded.
Yeah, I was going to say,
but that's going to have
Walter,
Alvin, myself, and I think Neko might be on that. I'm not sure yet with that, but she may join us again.
Yeah, but we will be covering episode number 2 of the Silver Screen Savants and the Man with the Golden Gun.
Sweet.
Do you want me to explain
And
what
a
Silver
new-
Screen Savants is, like for short term, or?
Well, it's sort
Go
of.
ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
go
so
ahead.
it's kind of like a retro. We decided, me and huh?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay,
go ahead.
me
Sorry,
and
go ahead.
Anubis. It's like a retro movie show. Like we decided to do. I had been coming up with this idea for a couple weeks now, and I think it was a cool idea. But it's kind of like a retro movie show where we go back in time to like movies and like the retro stuff. Even stuff from last year is considered now retro, but we cover all that kind of cool, horror, action, comedy, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. What we're gonna do right here is go back, way back in the time.
Way back.
There you go.
Okay, so Anubis, I know he's got a whole bunch of stuff going on. So
Actually, mine's kind of slowing down, at least for a couple. I mean, I'm setting up my kaiju spotlights again, so I'm starting to work those in. But this immediate week, Wednesday, of course, is the Ghouls of Midnight. We're actually doing something out of the box that we don't normally do, and it's called The Weatherman with Nicolas Cage. So that's Tony's pick. Then I'll be with Walter and whoever else is going to be on the Kevin Lambert Entertainment Headquarters with King Kong versus Godzilla, and then Friday with King Kong Escapes. As Alvin pointed out, and Walter, Saturday is the second episode of Silver Screen Savants, where we're going to be taking on the man with the golden gun. We're kind of like on this James Bond kick right now. And then next week, I have my first spotlight I'm doing with Kevin Lambert for Gorgo. And then, of course, the 20th, if it still goes through, I'll be again with Century here doing Ninja Scroll.
Ninja Scroll. Yes, sir. Yeah, cool. So yeah, well, Anubis pretty much just said that right now. That's probably the only thing I got lined up for the 20th, which is a Thursday. Walter, I already tickled Walter's I already tickled his little,
Balls.
cravings on in Ninja Scroll. We saw the first 15 minutes of it and he was like, oh shit, okay, yeah, this is some crazy stuff. So and Gojira, if you're not doing anything on the 20th, man, depending on that, when Jedi watches it finally, when he gets it, he ordered Ninja Scroll. He's gonna get it soon. We can do on the group, on the Sci-Fi Society group chat. We can do a watch along through my TV. We can watch Ninja Scroll if you want.
Okay. Yeah, I'll see what happens. I'll I'm working that night.
Yeah, just find out if you're working.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there. And then but yeah, man. I mean, let's see, Conan books, Daywalker. Hold on, I'm a great fan. Before we go, I'm a great fan of Conan. Then eventually maybe check the books. English for books. Cool, bro. Felipe, that's cool, brother. Si eres mexicano, eres latino, pues that's chida, bro. That's chida.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, but no, guys. But like I said,
yeah.
Ninja,
no,
here we
way
go.
dark. It is way darker in the books. Yeah, you're right, Felipe. It is.
Yeah, and Tony, that's another thing too. Tony, now that I mention it, Ninja Scroll will be on the 20th. Depending on how I'm feeling, if I suck it up. I love that movie. I already did the intro videos to that one. I already got the work's already done for that, and then hopefully, I want to try to get for Kevin for March, since he's gonna have a week off. We're gonna run Godzilla versus Gigan and Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. So if I can that day. What's up?
I said you got me interested for some of those, right? I said you got me interested for maybe the Godzilla stuff. So
yeah. Since I can only get 6 people, I'll let people know who I'll put on there. But I have to have Kevin on there for sure, and at least Gojira and Nubis. because I haven't had Kevin on in a while since the last time, and I was supposed to get him on this one, but I couldn't because I wanted to get get Conan, not out of the way, but I wanted to finish it because I had this one on the back burner for who knows how long. Anubis knows how long I've had it on the back burner. But yeah, and then Ninja Scroll, definitely I'm gonna suck it up for that one too because I love that's probably my top freaking anime in 1993, and then we'll get to Event Horizon hopefully late February, late March hopefully. And then but I'm just taking it. I already have movies set up that I want to do, but I'm just gonna go slow with that. But I'll try to get Gojira, I'll try to get Alvin Wolf and everyone I can on Godzilla vs. Gigan and then Godzilla vs. Sea Monster. So remember guys, Alvin Wolf, I use the certain free version for StreamYard, so I can't put everyone like 8 people. I can only put 6. So I try to put people. If I can't get someone on one live stream, I could get them on another live stream. So that's why I don't want to sound like I pick favorites. You know what I'm saying? Like all you guys of the society. Like I said with Tony, I wanted to get Tony for Ninja Scroll because he said he really liked Ninja Scroll, so I'm gonna get him on there. Thrash Pondo, I'm gonna try to get Thrash Pondo on there.
There's always gonna be plenty of material between everybody, so you'll get on shows all the time. So it's no big deal. Yeah. I'll definitely get you on, man. I already got you on here, so and then I gotta get Tony on there, and then I get Thrash Pondo on there. But as far as that, guys, everyone who was watching, everybody in the comments, Tony, Felipe, everyone who joined, thank you for joining on the chat. I know it was Sunday, it was Super Bowl weekend. I don't care much for this Super Bowl, so I wanted to do Conan with with the crew and everything. And as always, guys, we always appreciate everyone who jumps on the streams, everybody who watched that. If it's 25 people watching, if it's 2 people watching, I always try to do my streams the way I always do them, and I always try to keep everybody. Try to get everybody that I can on as many streams as I can. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. Too bad Anubis heard you. Now Anubis is gonna give you shit for it. But but no, yeah.
So anyway, I'm looking for a new partner for Ghouls of Midnight. Anybody interested?
Whoa! Did you see Felipe? Felipe just said it.
That means Conan and Reanimator are in the same universe. Okay, that I didn't know.
I don't know what Reanimator is, but it's a series of horror movies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for guys that live in Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, just be wary. They might torch the entire state tonight because they're celebrating. So I just want you to know that. Okay.
Okay.
Was the game over?
Can we
Yeah,
get
thank
the
you.
Philly news stations? You think?
Yeah, it is.
Maybe through Pluto. Maybe.
Because we get some of because Northern Delaware is a suburb of Philly.
Yeah, we see all their
Wilmington
jerseys and shit down here too. So,
yeah.
What?
Oh my god!
So
And
the
there's a
game's
lot
over?
of Eagles fans around here.
Yeah.
So
I think it was. I think it
won.
Yeah, they beat their ass.
I think it was.
Oh, okay.
It ended up being 40-22. I mean, the Chiefs got a couple of touchdowns late, but not enough.
No. Okay.
They're done.
Oh man. Well, I mean, like I said, we can't win them all. So, football, whatever, I'm retired. I'm retired MMA and I'm retired athlete. Now I'm just definitely into entertainment now. But besides that, guys, everyone who was watching, you guys don't go anywhere yet. But thank you all for joining the Sci-Fi Society Podcast Volume 24. We hit 24. Hopefully it can get to 30. But as always, guys, thank you all for watching. Especially with my guests, Gojira851, Matt Jacobson, Sexual Chocolate, aka Walter Ross, aka Jedi Granville, another new member in Alvin Werewolf, and the massa and chief of the Metal Tavern, DJ Anubis. Thank you all for joining me and everybody who was watching.
Hey, welcome.
Sci-Fi Crew. We're gonna see that replayed, right? Because I need to see that shit again.
Watch it. Tell her to watch. Tell her to watch. It's gonna jump on. But hey, guys, remember we are
Crow. It's
Yep,
Crew, not
we are.
Crow.
Everyone who's watching, remember, guys, we always keep a raw and wheel, and we are out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ooh, the Sci-Fi Society Crow.
We are the Sci-Fi Society.
DJ Anubis.
And we did it.
Here with the Meltdown Radio podcast with my special guest, Sci-Fi Century, our fearless leader and founder of the Sci-Fi Society.
That whole story is like, that's pay-per-view, guys. You don't get a lot of that stuff.
All right, no,